So before, the high-field NMR systems were in a centralized lab where you had to have access and you had to have like a measurement time. And what the Fourier 80 helps you is to take away this fear of using the high-field NMR system machines, because they are built on the same technology that it can be applied in so many areas. And it's really taking away the NMR concept of being in a centralized lab and bringing it to where the chemistry really happens, where you can quickly check if your reaction really worked, and you just are way more confident and faster in getting your answer. You can choose between how deep you want to have your NMR knowledge. Do you want it as a novice, like a new student that wants to understand how NMR works? Then we have ready workflows where NMR is set up and you can just measure your samples, or you can also have more complicated pile sequences that you can develop yourself and you can test it. So it really brings the opportunity not just from the teaching, but also for just a user that wants to do a quality check but doesn't need to know the deep end NMR basics. We have really dedicated applications, no matter from basic research to applied markets, including batteries, polymers, chemical analysis, pharmaceuticals, reaction monitoring. Another key application of this Fourier 80 benchtop system is also in forensics. So if you have a new drug that is new on the market and you want to know what it is exactly, it will give you not just quantitative but qualitative information on the new drug. And another application also when it comes to high throughput is metabolomics, where you have really a vast amount of samples that you need to measure in the same time under the same conditions. And it gives you a database of which metabolite profiles you need to monitor for each of your patients, for example. Another application area is reaction monitoring. So if you want to bring the Fourier 80 right next to where the reaction happens, you can bring it in the lab. And if you want to make sure that you have the same reaction conditions, you can also couple it with an automation of our ChemSpeed, where it's really automatic sample preparation of your reaction. It will flow through the system to give you a result on how your reaction is really evolving over time. And this gives you really a robust and reliable result at the end of each experiment, and you know at the end if your reaction is really successful or not. So the Fourier 80 can be also equipped with an autosampler that you see right next to me. If you have multiple samples that you want to measure, or you have really a high throughput laboratory where you have several samples and each of these samples is different from each other, then you can have this autosampler that allows you to measure up to 252 samples at room temperature, so you can leave it over the weekend. Another feature of this autosampler is a barcode reader. So it gives you traceability and security that your sample that you want to be measured is really the sample that was measured. The Fourier 80 benchtop system comes with different software environments depending on the level of the NMR expertise that your user is having in the laboratory. Can have a user-friendly interface that is GoScan, for example, where the workflows are already implemented for you, and with a push of the button you can get an answer. And for every other expert user who likes to use high-field system and wants to try new things out on the benchtop while they are waiting for their measurement time in their lab, they can always use the TopSpin interface, which is an industry standard software for our Bruker NMR systems, and is really using the same interface and the same pile sequences, and has all the integrated pile sequences that you could find also in the high-field system. And you can just try out a few things before your next measurement time on the high-field machine.